Today I'd like to demonstrate the actual installation of 2BizBox Manufacturing ERP software. And I'd first like to touch on quickly the system technical information that's available down here through the control panel. And then I'd like to also take a look at the software license itself. As you can see, this software is being offered completely free as long as you meet the conditions outlined here in the license. And also wanted to show you the README information that will be available at the conclusion of the installation, which you'll notice at that time I will decline to see it because I'm showing it here. Okay, so I've completely removed 2BizBox from this computer, so I can go ahead and reinstall it for the purposes of this demonstration. I'll go ahead and hit the .exe file, and the first thing I have to do here is just say run. We'll go ahead and just say next, accept the license, showing us where it's going to put it. Now we're going to install both the client and the server on this computer together. It'll create a desktop icon automatically. And we go ahead and say install. So while it is installing, I just wanted to mention that I'm doing so today on an older MacBook Pro running Parallels. I also have this software installed on a Dell running Windows 10, but I'm not as familiar with PCs as I am with the Mac, and so this allows me to use QuickTime to do the recording. The other thing I want to mention is that we are doing the installation in what's called the simple mode today, and as I had reviewed in demonstration number 6 in company settings, the nice part about doing the simple mode is it's very quick, and it populates a lot of the information in the company settings. Whereas if you went into the advanced mode and you were actually installing the software in a company, then you'd go through each of the steps as far as entering a lot of the different company information that you find in the settings. So again, we're installing in simple mode, and it's actually installing two different databases, both a test and a default. And the default is the normal company setting, and the test is populated with just a little bit of information, I think a couple of part numbers, and the default is completely void of any information whatsoever with regard to any part numbers or any actual data. Concept being that the test database is very useful for getting started, and so it has a little bit of information that I think there was some tutorials that they had generated early on to coincide with the information that was in the test database. I personally have always just utilized the default, and I've gone ahead and just populated it with information that I wanted to populate based on my experience and knowing the kind of information I'd wanted to make sure that the system could support. So the main installation is actually complete at this point, but there's going to be a few more steps. And the first one is just to confirm I want to go ahead and launch the server and the client icons. And I do not want to see the README. And now the server is starting up. This is normally what happens when you launch the server after normal installation. So up here in the left-hand corner, you can see the three icons that the system installed. One is for the client, which you double-click on when the server is running, and then you go ahead and log in. And the other two to both start and stop the server. And now we go into our first login. And as already stated, we're going with the simple mode. Let's go ahead and say OK. Just confirming we're going with the default database, initializing based on the USA. And now initialization is completed, so we click again, OK, and we're going to log in again to the default. It now wants to set up the current fiscal year, and we say yes. And the default for the fiscal year is for the calendar year, in which we say OK. And we need to restart again. And we have the calendar year as our fiscal year. It's asking if we want to go ahead and set up the fiscal year for 2022, and I'm going to just say remind me later. And there you have it, a complete installation of 2BizBox Manufacturing ERP. And I think that's going to conclude this demonstration on how to install it. Thanks for watching.